I'm going to give you a few quick tips to ensure you put the tail pad on nice and straight. Okay, get your tail pad, take your Stanley knife, and what you're going to do is just cut perfectly around the actual tail pad only through the plastic on top, not all the way through the cardboard. Then what you're going to do is just lift it off the cardboard. Now what you'll have is your tail pad with just the clear plastic on the top. Turn it over and make sure that you rip all these little bits of cardboard off the back so it doesn't interfere with trying to stick it on the actual board. Before you peel off the tape on the back of the tail pad, you're actually going to just take a second and line it up on the board so you have a good understanding of exactly where you want it. As you can see here, the back of the tail pad is molded perfectly to fit around the leash plug. Now people often ask, okay, how far do I put up my tail pad or how far back? Basically you want to put it back as far as possible. The tail kick is basically on the tail pad so you can have something to cushion your back foot against when you're jamming really hard turns in the pocket. Now if you can imagine, if you've got your tail pad too far up the front of your board, it's going to create your turning power and your pivot of back foot pressure too far up the board, so you're not going to be able to do tight enough turns. Alright, now we've got the tail pad lined up perfectly with the leash plug. The next thing to do is make sure it's centered. There's a number of things that we're going to do here to ensure that. The first one is take a look at these holes through the middle of the tail pad. These holes need to be lined up perfectly with the stringer that you can see in the middle. Then you've also got this piece at the front of the tail pad. Make sure that's lined up perfectly with the stringer as well. Now you know exactly where your tail pad needs to be placed on the board. So all you need to do is lift the tail pad back off and then peel the tape off the back of the tail pad. With your clean towel, make sure you give the back of your board a really good wipe down so there's no dust or particles on there that could stick between the board and the tail pad. Now you've peeled all the tape off the back of the tail pad, now we need to place it. We're going to start from the back of the tail pad and work all the way forward. Once you've got the back of the tail pad positioned, now we're going to move from the back to the front and just slowly press it down as we go along, keeping everything in line with the stringer of the board. So you can see these holes here, I'm keeping them perfectly in line with the stringer as I go along. Okay, now we're going to move from the inside out, pressing it down and making sure that we've got no air bubbles. Okay, now go around the entire tail pad and press firmly to make sure it's stuck evenly over the entire tail pad. Okay, once it's firmly stuck, find an edge of the plastic and then just gently pull the plastic off the tail pad. And you're ready to go. Most tail pads come set up correctly in the packet as you should put them on the board. However, if you've got bigger feet or a wider board, you can pull them apart to accommodate that. So it's really a personal preference and up to you, but I personally just put them on as they come in the packet. We always recommend that you leave it for 24 hours just to make sure the glue's set.